What's up, Jets fans? I'm your host, Charlie, and welcome back to the 5th episode of the Jets Up podcast. I am joined today by my co-hosts, Anthony and Tristan. Go ahead and introduce yourself, guys. You have anything you want to say?
What's up, everybody? What's your thoughts on Jets here?
Yeah, man, I can't wait to get this 5th episode of the podcast going. Be sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications to both me, Anthony, and Charlie's channels, if Charlie's making one. And yeah, let's get started.
I have one. But anyways, so on to the first topic of today. Who would you like to cut this offseason? Wire, take it away.
So starting with the offensive line, two guys that I'm cutting are right guard Greg Van Roten and left guard Alex Lewis. These are just two guys that I don't even expect Lewis to really want to even be here next year with everything that's been going on with him and the team. And Van Roten, I think he was a really big disappointment with the Jets. I thought he could have done better than he did. But that's why I'm cutting to both of them. And then you guys might totally disagree with me, but a big way that the Jets are able to get so much money is cutting Jamison Crowder. So you can go after guys in free agency like Allen Robinson, Joe Thuney, and whoever else you want. So I think cutting Crowder is the answer to sign all these free agents, in my opinion, because you're clearing. And he's like the highest paid player on the team right now, I believe. So, just analysts, what about you?
Yeah, so I have 5 guys that I want to cut this season. I'll start from the most expensive to the cheapest. All right, number 1 is Henry Anderson. Dude's an absolute bum.
Yes, sir.
Look, he had his time with the New York Jets. He was a pretty good player for a majority of it, but just this last season, he's been terrible. He hasn't been able to rush the passer, and frankly, he's just been taking up money and space on this Jets defensive line. You save $8.2 million by cutting him, bye-bye. Second player, I'm cutting Alex Lewis, saving $5.4 million. This dude has been terrible this season. He was average last year. He took a step down, and he's causing problems. Well, I wouldn't say it's even his fault, right? He had a fight with Adam Gase. I don't see him wanting to be here next year. Plus, he's just, once again, taking up space on that offensive line. So, Alex Lewis, bye-bye. Third guy, I'm cutting Greg Van Roten, our right guard, saving $3.25 million. Another guy that's standing in the way of players like Pat Elflein, Cam Clark starting. And that's just not a guy that I want to keep around, right? He's older. You know what you're getting in him. He hasn't been very good this upcoming season or this past season. And if you're saving $3 million by cutting him, I'm taking that. The fourth guy, Ryan Griffin, our tight end. Dude, what happened to him? He did absolutely nothing this year and was a negative impact on the field anytime.
Okay. I have a schematic explanation as to why he wasn't effective this year. Do you want to hear it?
Adam Gase?
Pretty much, yeah. He stopped using 12 personnel, which is what you saw in Sam's second year, why he was so successful checking the ball down. 12 personnel means 1 back, 2 tight ends. The first number is the number of backs. Second number is the number of tight ends. So that really helped open up the check down lanes when you had your deep threats like Vincent Smith, Robbie Anderson going down the field and putting everybody on their heels. It allowed for a lot of easy completions over the middle of the field. He failed to do that this year, even though he still had speed.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like while the 12 formation is good, you can't be running that every play anyways, especially if a guy like Sam Darnold needs that to be successful. It's another reason why you're moving on from him. Ryan Griffin, he's just another guy in the tight end room, saving $1.8 million if you cut him. And he has a cap hit over the next couple of years of like 3 per year. So, I'm good. I'll cut him there. And the final guy I'm cutting is Josh Doctson. He opted out of the season and is really just another guy in this Jets wide receiver room who I don't even see him making the roster. So I would just cut him, save $1 million.
I didn't know we signed it to a more than 1-year deal.
No. If you opt out of the year and you sign a 1-year contract, you get to do the 1-year contract in the next year. So okay. I just pretty much undo the contract, save $1 million, or save $1 million. Shit, that's confusing. But yeah, there's guys like Jeff Smith who are obviously better than him. Jeff Smith, who are better than him and still aren't seeing the field a lot. So, just another body that you can get out of here and saves up some more money for the offseason. So that's Henry Anderson, Alex Lewis, Greg Van Roten, Ryan Griffin, and Josh Doctson.
All right. So First off, I will be cutting right tackle, former Seattle Seahawk, George Fant. Because, look, I think Fant was an above-average tackle this year, but he makes so much money to the point where if we could bring somebody, a guy in here who we can draft and develop, which I trust our new staff to do, somebody like Daniel Falele, who has equal raw physical talents, I think it would just be – it would be so worth it. Next up, I'm cutting defensive end Henry Anderson. He had one breakout year. We all went crazy. McCagnon gave him the bag. Didn't work out. It's time to move on.
You see that with players like Quincy Enunwa too.
Bro, I love Quincy. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, I
Bro,
love
the
Quincy.
reason we cut him, he was just hurt all the time.
He would have been a stud.
He was
And
good,
I would
though.
even look into restructuring what's his name, George Fant's contract. See if he takes a little bit of a pay cut.
And then, like you guys, I mean, I pretty much have the same reasons for these two guys that you guys did, so I'm just going to say their names. I'm cutting Lewis and Van Roten. Give guys like Cam Clark a shot. Hopefully you can draft somebody, maybe a Creed Humphrey, maybe a Wyatt Davis, maybe trying to think of other Trey Smith, maybe. There are a lot of other options out there, and these guys just straight aren't cutting it. And then I'm going to cut wide receiver Josh Doxson. He was a fear because we started to go down, and we're happy with Core going to Doxson.
Is Charlie breaking up for you?
Yeah.
25th by the Redskins. Football team, sorry. I don't think it's worth it. So with that being said, we'll move into our second topic. Our second topic is who do you think the late round sleepers are, and who are your picks for them? Take flight. I'll start with you.
All right. So, as you guys know, I am a 100% NFL analyst, man. I'm a high knowledgeable NFL draft analyst. So, I got it. Nah, I'm playing with y'all, but I got a couple guys that I would like to see the Jets target in later rounds that could make an immediate impact on this team. Number one, Daz Newsome, the wide receiver from UNC. This dude is an absolute stud, and he's one of the most underrated receivers in the country. He combines his 6'1" size with just the speed of a guy that, like Robbie Anderson, that just beats you over the top. He can play in the slot and on the outside. He reminds me of a sort of downgraded version of Terrace Marshall, who's another receiver in this class that I would like to target, but he's more of an early round guy. He's a guy that could come in, even like develop a year behind Crowder, or if we trade Crowder at the deadline, you could slot Daz into that slot receiver role, which I think he would play if we have guys like Allen Robinson and Denzel Mims on the outside. So I think Daz Newsome could thrive in this Matt LaFleur scheme. Number two is Ben Cleveland, the guard from Georgia. This guy has been a run blocking beast, okay? He has the size and frame and overall strength to be a top 10 guard in the league. He just has to put it all together and sort of refine some technique in the pass blocking game. But all around, the least you're getting from this, or the least you're getting out of this guy, if he's a complete bust, he's an incredible run blocker and a little bit of a liability in pass blocking. But I think you can develop him into a solid pass blocker too. So he could be a guy that you get the late third round that could step in and be a starting guard for your team. And then number one, I mentioned this guy in the last podcast we did yesterday, Kenneth Gainwell, the running back out of Memphis. I love this game, and I really think he's going to be just about the next Alvin Kamara. But I look more to a guy like Antonio Gibson, which is the rookie running back for the Washington football team and was the former Memphis running back just last season. Gainwell sat behind him for the season and actually played pretty well before opting out of the year this year. And I think he could be a guy that you bring in if you don't sign.
I hate to interrupt, but my connection is being like really spotty right now, so we'll have to see how that develops.
All right, it's okay. But I think it will be just fine. I think it just does that for like 10-second periods. But if you got to leave and come back, it's okay. Gainwell's a guy, he could play wide receiver and running back. He's lit as hell, bro. He's a amazing dual threat running back. The only problem with him is fumbles. And I think if you can patch that up, he's going to be a top 10 running back in no time. So
that's all technique.
Yeah,
that's all technique.
Anthony, who are you guys?
All right. So when the Jets are looking at guys in the late rounds, my number one guy is Clemson wide receiver Amari Rodgers. This guy, he was like Trevor Lawrence, in my opinion, wide receiver one for him.
He wasn't though.
I think he kind of was.
It was T. Higgins.
Yeah,
But-
yeah. But other than that, in 12 games, he had 77 receptions for 1,020 yards and 7 touchdowns. So, if I were to guess, I think this guy would end up going in like the 4th or 5th round, probably 5th to be honest, somewhere in there. What do you guys think he's going to end up going?
Who was that again?
Amari Rodgers, Clemson.
Amari Rodgers. I think he'll end up being a 4th round guy.
I can see him sneaking up there.
Yeah,
We'll see,
just
though.
because of the performance he
So
put on.
I like what he done at Clemson. He's done some special stuff for Clemson the last few years. So I would like to see the Jets end up drafting him like late in the draft. So but we'll see. And next I got take what you told me about this guy. Chuba how do you say his name? Chuba
Hubbard.
Chuba Hubbard. Running back, Oklahoma State. This past season, he played 7 games. He got 52 carries for 625 yards and 5 touchdowns. So, I know, if anything, the Jets might end up either signing a running back or maybe taking a running back with that 23rd overall pick or the 34th overall pick. But if you
Najee Harris
or Travis Etienne,
we have to get Najee Harris.
I'll get
Nah,
Najee.
Etienne's better, yo.
I'll take Najee. No, I don't know about that. But
That's another part.
if we don't end up getting that much running backs, then I really think we should really pick Herbert. So, yeah, that's really it. What about you?
I'm lazy, so I only got 2 of them. But Daniel Falele for me would be a great target in late rounds. He moves his feet well. His 40 time is going to be absolute dog water. But the way he's able to slide his feet and pass protection and pull in the run game, I think is fine for the NFL level. But the main thing about him is that he's 6'9", 400 pounds.
Man. Imagine him on the other side of Beckham.
He's breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, but and then I just think he'd be great. He's raw. He'd probably have to sit for a little while, but we could get a guy to plug the gap there. I have us cutting Fant, so it may not be ideal in that situation, but I think Chuma can fill in for a few games. I like Chuma's upside anyways. And then my second target is going to be Auburn wide receiver Seth Williams. He's got good deep speed. He's a big, strong guy, and he's great with jump balls. The only thing that people worry about him is that he's a lazy route runner, but that could easily be fixed. We saw with Robbie Anderson when he came to us, he was a lazy route runner, and look now, he's like top 5 route runner in the NFL. So that's
I
all.
think another concern I have with Seth Williams is he's pretty stiff in his release. I think if he can get that patched up, he'll be fine. But that's
it's all about.
something that
I've seen his release. He stands straight up too much. He's got to lean forward and lift that back heel up so he can explode out of it.
Yeah, it's just comes with technique and refining.
But with that being said, we're moving on to our third topic, which is our hot takes for this NFL offseason. Wire, go ahead.
All right, so I got some really, really hot takes here. This is all Jets related. All right. This offseason, I had the New York Jets somehow finding a way to trade for Houston Texans star quarterback Deshawn Watson. I really think Joe Douglas is going to try to figure out what he can trade to the Texans for Deshaun Watson. And with Woody coming back, it appears that I think they're just ready for a superstar to finally be in New York and helping us just change the culture here and just try to get better. And he loves Robert Saleh. And obviously he would attract a lot of free agents to this team. So I really think the Jets
You already have the Watson jersey? Do you already have the Watson jersey?
No. Kyrie
Okay.
jersey.
So
Okay.
yeah, so I see the Jets end up trading for Deshaun Watson this offseason. Coming in next, this is a guy that's been attracting Deshaun Watson to the New York Jets. I have the New York Jets signing Chicago Bears former wide receiver Allen Robinson. This is a guy I really like. I've watched him the last few years. He's been one of the better wide receivers in the NFL. I really think him and Watson would be a good duo together. He's a top 10 receiver, and he doesn't have the best quarterback in the league, Trubisky. Trubisky hasn't really been that good, but Allen Robinson still finds a way to be a good receiver out there, and I think he'd be twice as better with Deshaun Watson throwing him the ball. So, yeah. So, and coming up next, this is for the draft. I have a feeling with that 23rd overall pick, I think the Jets are going to end up. Take flight. You're going to like this one. Or no, you're not too high on him than you were. So I have the New York Jets selecting Buckeyes offensive lineman Wyatt Davis.
Yeah, and I just want to add why I'm not so sold on him is because the injuries, he keeps piling them up. It's like scary.
He can help out our offensive line get better. He can.
He can.
Right? Does he play right guard or left?
Yeah, he plays right guard.
I know.
Right guard for the Buckeyes.
So
Good.
after this offseason, the Jets are going to be trying to build up the offensive line as much as they can. And they're also going to look at some free agent guards too. But if Wyatt Davis is sitting there, why not just take him there? But I just want to find a way for the Jets to at least select a running back in this draft. If it's either Travis Etienne or Najee Harris. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see what the Jets really want to do this draft. So
yeah, and another guy that I think I would even put over Najee Harris is Devonte Williams. The dude's gonna be a stud. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up being the best.
I completely understand the ETN over Najee Harris train. Actually, I might take ETN. It all depends on what the scheme fit is. But I think the West Coast Shanahan type of system, you like running the ball up. You like running the ball between the tackles more, right? You utilize those fullbacks and those
like a little bit to the right.
What?
That is straight up the middle. That's what the West Coast offense is best for. It's running straight up the middle. Najee Harris does that a lot. I'm just
because I've always seen Raheem Mostert.
He doesn't got the elite speed.
Run to the right and go for like 80 yards. Remember that against the Jets?
That's like a weak counter play, but that's not their bread and butter.
True.
That's not what they do most. They have to do that.
Yeah, was against the Jets. That's not terrible.
Keep them disciplined. It's not mainly what they do. And back to what I was saying, I think Harris does that a little bit better. He's a little bit of a stronger back. Now, Etienne is a much more skilled pass catcher, and he has a much better burst, and I think he's a better open field runner. So I'm really splitting hairs here, but I think
who do you guys think is faster?
One thing I don't understand is whoever Take Flight said was better than Najee Harris, because he's not.
Don't sleep on Devonte Williams.
Okay, Devonte Williams, I don't know anything about him. I'm sure he's a good prospect, but I don't think he's as good as Najee Harris.
For Najee Harris, one of the best running back prospects I ever lived.
He's not probably as good as Najee Harris, but I would pick him over him. It's just my opinion. But Jets, are you finished your 3 hot takes?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna move into my 3 hot takes for this offseason.
Wait, I'm going second this time.
Oh, okay. All right, you got it, Charlie.
So my first hot take is that Deshaun Watson will go to the Miami Dolphins this offseason, because they have a lot of draft capital too. And I honestly think if Deshaun Watson had the choice between the New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins, he would pick the Dolphins. There's much better.
Do you hope you're Charlie? Do you hope you're wrong though?
Obviously. Yeah, okay. I love Deshaun Watson. I'd love for him to be a Jet. But
bro, there's still a high chance he ends up being a Jet. I'm just letting you guys know that.
Yeah. Bro, that's why it's called a hot take.
Exactly.
True.
Anyways, back to what I was saying. I just think, look, there's a more established head coach. They have better young skill players. I think Miami, for a young player, is more attractive than New York. It's much more of like a nightlife type of city. He doesn't have equal brand opportunities as he would in New York, but I don't think he's mainly concerned with that. And then my second hot take would be Sam Darnold being traded for a 3rd-round pick or less. I just think that other teams are going to know we're not keeping Sam, and they're going to stiff us, and they're going to drive down his value so much to the point where we're going to have to trade him for a third. And then at number 3, I have the Saints going 4-12 in the 2021 NFL season. I mean, either Taysom or Jameis, maybe Sam Darnold. Dude, he has the most talent, Jameis, but he just has like zero decision-making skills.
I can see him really improving over Sean Payton, though. I'm a big Jameis Winston fan.
Okay.
All right. Those are mine. Wire, take it away.
I already did mine. Take Fight's going to do his now.
All right, here we go. So I got 3 hot takes for this offseason. And honestly...
Oh, then take Flight. Sorry.
I can legitimately see these 3 happening. So the first one on my list is the 49ers are going to trade for Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan. They're going to give up a first and a 5th-round pick to acquire Matt Ryan. The last time Matt Ryan was in a system with Kyle Shanahan, they went to the Super Bowl, and Matt Ryan was an MVP. So if you can reunite that pairing, see what you can do in San Francisco. And I think you can make a Super Bowl push with that team and with Matt Ryan as your quarterback. So let's say the Niners, they can give up a little bit of draft capital to lend their quarterback for the next 2 to 3. Next, I got the Miami Dolphins signing wide receiver Allen Robinson to a $100 million deal this offseason. I think Miami, if they don't land Deshaun Watson, which I think there is a good chance that they do, they're going to end up wanting to sign a big-name free agent this offseason because they have the cap space for it. Insert Allen Robinson, who's the perfect guy to put next to Devontae Parker and a guy that you will want to put next to Tua Tagovailoa. I think he might really like this option, or Allen Robinson's going to like this option too, because you don't have to pay taxes in Florida. So, if you get a $100 million contract, you're getting that whole thing. You're not getting taxes deducted off of it. So, yeah. And then my number 1 hot take this offseason, the New York Jets.
Nathan Peterman.
Quarterback Deshaun Watson. Now, I've gone back and forth between us and Miami over the last couple of days. I think Carolina could be in the mix somehow too, but at the end of the day,
no way in hell Deshaun Watson is going to go to the Carolina Panthers. He has a no trade clause, so he'll just be like, nah.
Like a 1% chance, but the Jets are the favorites right now, and my main concern is the Miami Dolphins. I think they have more to offer, and I think Deshaun would rather be a Dolphin than a Jet, and it's not even close. However, I could see the Dolphins pulling out last minute if they feel like they're giving up too much, and they feel like those picks that they're giving up, they could use to build around Tua. So the Jets put in number 2, or they ship number 2. They ship that first-round pick in 2022, first in 2023, and the 65th overall pick to acquire Deshaun Watson. So those are my 3 hot takes. Matt Ryan to the Niners, Allen Robinson to the Dolphins, and Deshaun Watson to the Jets. And just for like an honorable mention, Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be a New England Patriot next year. Mark it on your calendar.
I don't think that take is very hot. Like, I think that's an actual good possibility that happens.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's a hot take because not many people have that take, but in terms of the actual probability of that happening or not, I don't think it's on the lower percentage.
Yeah, I think it's pretty likely. That's why I didn't put it on my list. But I'm just saying, if the Niners trade Matt Ryan, I think the Patriots are going to be bugging the Niners the whole time on that phone for Jimmy Garoppolo, and they might be the only team interested. So, all
right, now we are going to do our analysis of who is the better quarterback: Justin Fields from Ohio State or Zack Wilson from BYU. I will start. No, I'm just playing. Take what you can take. I know you've been doing your hours and hours of homework.
Yes, sir.
Talking about breaking down each prospect.
Look at Charlie, man. Always doing. Man, he's just being inspirational over here. So, if you guys don't know, I do so much unnecessary scouting on quarterbacks in the NFL draft. I watched about 2.5 hours of Zack Wilson, which is every throw and run.
I think one time
this off
he was like, yeah, it came down to whose fingernails were bigger. There's just some weird shit like that where it's like he gets 1 point more because he's like a half an inch taller.
Yeah, I think that's what it was too. But I've watched every throw from Zack Wilson this past season, I think twice. So I think I know what I'm talking about here. The main things you're going to be looking at, I wonder if I could pull up my I think it will. So those my grade for the prospect is that would look okay. He's extremely accurate on the deep ball. He hits wide receivers all the time down the field. It's actually pretty to watch. He's good accuracy at all three levels of the field, works through his progressions quickly, makes good pre-snap reads, has the arm talent to be a top QB in the NFL. Throws extremely well off platform, bro. That's one of the most impressive things about his game. When you're running to the right, running to the left,
I'm sorry, who
just
does that
sling
sound
that from
like?
any angle of his arm. Patrick Mahomes, another
Who does that sound like?
incredible thing. His ball placement.
Analyst, who does that sound like?
The Patrick Mahomes.
No, it sounds like Sam Darnold.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, man. Look at he makes all these plays on the run.
I mean,
I have a question for you guys right now. I
if
gotta
you
know.
gave Darnold the right situation, he would have been a great quarterback. But
Listen to me. If you were to compare Justin Fields to a quarterback in the NFL, who would you compare him to?
Dak Prescott.
I was gonna say the same thing. I think he's like a better Dak Prescott though.
I think he's more. I more like a prime Cam Newton.
I kind of like that, but
I
at
think
the
he's
same
more like
time,
a
he
prime
has so
Cam
much more
Newton at
arm
his
talent
ceiling.
than Cam Newton.
And I think
Cam Newton is so inaccurate.
in terms
at
of running
his
style,
ceiling, he's that.
no. His ceiling's a lot higher.
At his floor, you're probably looking at kind of like a Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, I think Justin Fields at his floor is honestly Justin Fields at his floor. I'm looking at Sam Darnold right now. A version of Sam Darnold that we've seen this past season. But back to Zack Wilson. His ball placement is great. And the thing that separates him from Sam, I think I mentioned this earlier, is Wilson makes pre-snap reads and works through his progressions fast as hell.
Sam was doing that in his rookie year.
He was good in it in his rookie year, but not near the extent of Wilson. Wilson's pocket awareness and pocket presence is incredible too. He's a playmaker, keeps his eyes downfield at all times. He can throw from all angles of his arm. Once again, another Patrick Mahomes trait. And BYU runs a pro-style offense. Plus, he elevates teammates around him, meaning that he doesn't have a lot of talented playmakers. Some of his weaknesses, he struggled against top competition like Coastal Carolina. Low-key, Coastal Carolina is an
Whooped their
underrated
ass.
team.
Came off the bus and just kicked their ass for 60 minutes.
No, Coastal Carolina is a ranked team. They were ranked, I think, 15 at the end of the year. Zack Wilson almost brought them down at the end of the game to win the game, 1 yard short, as Tennessee Titans fans would know. Another thing with Zack Wilson
should not have come down to.
There's no way. It honestly should. BYU and Coastal Carolina are not that far off of teams. They were always ranked near each other this season. Coastal Carolina was 10-0 going into that game, or 9-0. But Wilson's smaller. He's listed as 6'3". That's just not true. He's probably 6'2".
He can run better than Fields, in my opinion.
He's listed at 115 pounds. That's not true again. He's probably near like 105 to 109. Tends to hold the ball too long, takes unnecessary sacks, backpedals at times when he's getting pressured. He's had a little bit of a fumbling problem in terms of like holding in the snap.
Guys.
All right.
Some injury history that is going to be a turnoff for some teams at the next level. But overall, my prospect grade for Zack Wilson is an 88.75 or a B+. That is, for me, that's a top 12 pick in the 2021 draft. His team fits, I think, the Jets, Panthers, and Niners would be the best. And my pro comparison for Zack Wilson, this is a little bit of a hot take. I think he is a very Russell Wilson-like player. I didn't get through the grading of Justin Fields, but I can tell you right now, he's a phenomenal player. However, he doesn't tend to elevate his teammates around him. He's accurate as hell. He has the arm strength to do it. He's mobile. And all around, he's just a dog of a leader and a guy. So, I think he's an early first pick too. I don't think I'd spend a top 5 pick on him. Unlike Zack Wilson, I would definitely spend a top 5 pick on him. But yeah, these two are pretty close. I wouldn't say it's amazingly close, but I think it's definitely a conversation. I would give Zack Wilson the edge. Although I honestly can't see you saying Justin Fields is better. But yeah, give me Zack Wilson any day of the week, really. I love Justin Fields too, but I think Zack Wilson is just that talented. So, Anthony.
So should I give them a grade or no?
No, because you don't have any idea of what their actual grade is, so just give them the breakdown.
I'll just say, okay. Okay, when you compare both these quarterbacks, obviously, they both played in two different leagues in college. Zack Wilson played on BYU. BYU, I believe, is the Big 12, and then Ohio State's the Big 10. So two different leagues. I kind of think Zack Wilson still played better. This past year in BYU, he had 33 touchdowns, 10 rushing touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, and about 3,600 yards, somewhere in there. I think
Here's the difficult thing for that is saying he played better because Fields played in less games than he did. So it's kind of hard. He played 6 regular season games.
But by the way, Zack Wilson is a lot more consistent than Fields is, and actually was really consistent this year.
And I think Wilson's decision making is better than Fields is. I really think Fields has to really work on his decision making. Obviously, everybody knows he has the arm strength. He's really accurate. I understand all of that. He's a tremendous player. He had a terrific career at Ohio State these past couple of years. He almost got them a national championship. But I just think I see more of Zack Wilson. I just think he's just more consistent in the pocket, in my opinion. Take flight. You've talked about this before. When Wilson throws the ball on a run, it's something special. It's just something special. I really can see this guy. If as long as this guy gets the right pieces on his team, I really think this guy can end up being
after the buzzer bum, bitch.
I really think eventually, as long as Zack Wilson ends up getting the pieces around him, I really think he can end up being a Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen, maybe. Like, you see what a lot of experts out there are comparing Zack Wilson to guys like Mahomes. They think their arm, even though Mahomes doesn't.
Here's my argument into that during breakdown.
By the way, I just want to discredit one part of your argument. There's no way Zack Wilson's a better runner than Justin Fields. I'm sorry.
At running? I don't know. That's so debatable, though.
Look how Justin Fields just doesn't go down.
Yeah, but you have to watch Zack Wilson. He's more skinny. I think he runs, but I just think he runs better. I
think when you see in the NFL, there's a
Justin Fields will run a time in the 4.5s, probably 4.4s. Zack Wilson will probably run a high 4.7.
High 4.6, but yeah, I think Fields is 0.2 seconds faster and he goes down less.
Dude, everybody thinks
Zack Wilson's not an incredible runner. I think, and it's easy to just watch the film and think that he's like Kyler Murray-esque tier running, but when you look at the guys he's playing, if you and breakdown is 40 times how long it takes him to get up the field, it's not that fast. I mean, I think it's sort of a case of Baker Mayfield. We thought Baker Mayfield was this dual threat quarterback. I think Wilson's definitely more athletic and faster, but you just see athleticism from college to the NFL is a lot different.
So there's many reasons why I just mentioned that. These are kind of the reasons that I take Zack Wilson over Justin Fields. I just think all that kind of stuff is better than him. So, and now I'm going to give you guys some potential spots for these kids. So, Zack Wilson,
Nope. Kill it. That's not part of the topic.
Take flight.
Charlie has yet to say who he thinks is better, though.
Yeah.
So, no, but that's our next topic. That's not part of this one.
All right.
So I would take Justin Fields over Zack Wilson. You guys made some good points, but the thing I can't stand is when Wyatt said, I could see him being like a Josh Allen or a Patrick. I really don't think that'll be the case. In college, you saw guys like Allen and Mahomes physically take over the game. That did not happen once with Zack Wilson at BYU.
Well, actually.
Josh Allen did nothing in college. He sucked in college.
Against UCF. He took over that game.
Josh Allen, you could see the talent. It jumped off the screen. I don't see that with Zack Wilson. Zack Wilson, Josh Allen, yeah, he didn't win many games in college. His stats weren't great, but there were times coming down at the end of the game in the fourth quarter where he put the team on his back and he led them to a win. And I don't think I've seen Zach Wilson do that. And I'm talking right now. I interrupted neither of you. I just look. Yes, Zack Wilson is more pro ready. He makes reads better, but honestly, I don't think that's where NFL drafting is going. And I don't think that's how Joe Douglas drafts. I think we're going to draft the guy with the highest upside, and we're going to trust our coaching staff. Look, I know you guys have PTSD from Sam Darnold because we saw how bad a raw prospect when not developed can be in the NFL. And I honestly do not see that happening with Justin Fields.
Yeah, I mean, no, I think both are going to be really good players. I'm just that sold on Zack Wilson's ability to throw the ball deep. I mean, you look at the talent. I think the Patrick Mahomes comparison, it's a little bit lazy. Zack Wilson doesn't have anywhere near the talent of Patrick Mahomes. Although he has good talent, really what you look at Zack Wilson, he's extremely accurate and he's very precise with his reads and his progressions. And I think that is something you look at in like a young Russell Wilson and like a guy like him. Like
that is everything people said about Baker Mayfield.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is. Baker's number one thing coming out of college is look how accurate and precise he is. Look at his pro reads. Look at his mobility on the.
No, Baker Mayfield was pretty slow through his progression.
Everything they said about Baker Mayfield.
Except his progressions was a lot slower. His quarterback or his arm talent was less. He never made these throws on the run like Zack Wilson did, and he's not as mobile as Zack Wilson is.
Okay, well, look, I'm not disagreeing with you. I think Zack Wilson is a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield is, but I'm saying people said the exact same thing they're saying about Zack Wilson right now that they said about Baker Mayfield.
In the short, yes. About those particular topics, yes, they said the same thing about Zack Wilson and Baker Mayfield.
I think with Baker Mayfield, he doesn't really run well. Like Zack Wilson, he can do anything.
Everybody thought Baker out of college was an athlete.
Yeah, I did too.
I know.
And I was wrong on that. That's why I'm hesitant on Zack Wilson to call him a real dual threat quarterback.
Anyways, that was my breakdown of that. And now we're looking at where we think the top 6 quarterbacks in the NFL draft will land. These being Trevor Fields, Zack Wilson, Kyle Trask, Trey Lance, and Mac Jones. Wire, take it away.
All right. Starting at the top, I'm not really going in order here. I'm just saying what I wrote. All right. First, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars selecting Trevor Lawrence first overall in the draft. This is really obvious. I really can't see them passing on Trevor Lawrence. It's a really long shot to do. I understand Urban Meyer really likes Justin Fields, but it's just a really long shot. I really just don't see it at all. So, yeah. And then coming in next, this is via trade. I have the Houston.
Oh, shit. It's getting spicy.
I have the Houston Texans selecting BYU quarterback Zack Wilson. So I have the Jets trading for Deshawn Watson, and we give them the second overall pick, and he ends up going to the Houston Texans. Even though I kind of will feel bad for Zack Wilson because I think he can have a really decent NFL career. And Houston, it's not the best spot for him, but we're gonna see. But you're trading that second overall pick. If you're getting Deshaun Watson, that's one pick you're 100% giving up. So, and then next I have Justin Fields being Ohio State quarterback being selected by the Atlanta Falcons. People have been talking about him possibly going to Atlanta. I think I like the fit a lot. I think Justin Fields can have a really successful career under Arthur Smith there.
He stole my opinion.
No, and guys like, oh my god, and be good with guys with like Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones, like a decent O-line up front. So I think Atlanta is just a great fit for Justin Fields in my opinion. And then coming up,
I could be wrong about this, but just looking at it, is Zack Wilson undersized?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that they call him 6'3", 215. I see him more 6'2", 205. So he's gonna have to get bigger.
That's not
and
that. That's not
those
that
are
undersized height wise. The main thing you're concerned about an NFL quarterback is just their
Weight.
height, their ability to see the line. 6'2", 6'3" is fine. That's not undersized.
No, I'm talking about his weight. He's extremely skinny. He can get hurt at the next level if he gets hit.
Yeah, dude, that you can work on that easily. The main thing I'm worried about is somebody being 5'11". Like, I'm not worried. I'd be more worried if he was 5'11", 225 than he was what he is now.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah, I just think Atlanta's a really good fit for him. Coming in next, I have Alabama quarterback Mac Jones being selected by the New England Patriots. Obviously, the Patriots are going to be looking for a quarterback this offseason. With the 15th overall pick, I really think they're going to end up selecting Mac Jones there. I think he's going to go in the middle of the draft. I believe they have the 15th overall pick, so I think he'll end up going there. I like the fit. I like the fit too. I think.
Hold on a second, guys. Hold on a second.
I think Mac Jones could be a really decent quarterback in this league. He had a good college career. He just won the national championship at Alabama about a couple weeks ago. So I really think he could be a successful quarterback in New England under Bill Belichick. So coming up next is Kyle Trask being selected by the Chicago Bears. So another team that's in the hunt for a quarterback this offseason. And if the Bears are looking for a quarterback in the draft, it's probably going to come down to Kyle Trask or Trey Lance, because I see all the other guys getting selected with the first 15 picks in the draft. So I really think Kyle Trask could be a good fit for the Bears. I think he could be a really decent quarterback in the league too. So have him going there. Zakefoot, you're going to like this one. Coming in sixth quarterback is Trey Lance being selected by the Detroit Lions. So obviously the Lions, they're in a hunt for a quarterback with them agreeing to trade Matthew Stafford away. I've heard a lot of stuff today. It appears that he'll be traded to the 49ers eventually. I think Trey Lance could end up being a Detroit Lion. I've seen a couple mock drafts of him being selected by the Detroit Lions. I think there's a lot of you really don't think Trey Lance is that good of a quarterback, but in a way, I think he could be a decent
I think Trey Lance is an extremely talented quarterback. I don't know if he's necessarily an extremely I think he's an extremely talented athlete, and I think he has a great arm. I don't know if he's necessarily a good quarterback.
You want to talk about a Cam Newton? I think this guy, his peak is going to be like a prime Cam Newton.
We'll see how he does wherever he goes.
It reminds me, he's got a little bit of Kyler Murray to him.
Definitely.
Like at his peak.
People have been comparing Zack Wilson.
At the surface, yes, but not with like the height and tangibles and everything else.
So, yeah. So, that's really
I'm saying his game, because
his game is similar, yes.
All right, that's it for me, boys.
All right. So, number one, Jaguars, they're going to take Trevor. They're going to try and put their franchise together with him and Urban Meyer, see how it goes. I think they can get a good amount out of him. I honestly see an Andrew Luck type of situation with Indianapolis, where you can obviously see they have a great quarterback, but they just can't put a team together, and it ends up ending badly. I don't have the Jets taking a quarterback at 2. I do have the Falcons.
The fuck?
Zack Wilson.
No, hold on. Explain yourself.
Explain why the Jets aren't taking the quarterback.
If we're not trading for Deshawn Watson, what are we doing then? What are we doing?
Okay. Him to the Dolphins is a hot take for me, meaning it's lower percentage. Most likely we will get Deshaun Watson.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
My hot takes, I legitimately think are going to happen. That's what I was.
Okay. Well, you know what? Let's, for argument's sake, at number 2 we take Justin Fields. All right. Then the Falcons are going to take Zack Wilson. I got the Lions taking Trey Lance. Believe it or not, I think they're the type of people that would be willing to bet on that as much of a shit show as that organization is right now. And then I have the Patriots. I'm going to go Lions, Mac Jones. And then the Patriots will take Trey Lance.
I thought the Lions are getting.
And then I
thought you said the Lions
what?
are getting Trey Lance.
No, I just changed it. I misspoke. So I have the Lions getting Mac Jones, Patriots taking Trey Lance. That one sounds a little strange to people, but what are they missing right now? The Patriots.
An offense.
Weapons.
No answer.
Yeah.
Wide receivers.
They don't have an offense. They have no receiver. They have an O-line.
They don't have. They don't have
quarterback and some receivers. That's what they need.
They don't have anybody that defenses have to account for and draws attention. Trey Lance, while extremely raw, he does that right off the bat with his big playability and his mobility. And then I have the Washington football team selecting Kyle Trask.
All right, so I got a little bit of a thing to do right now. So just to put the quarterback.
I think the Bears are too like win now because their GM and their coach are on the hot seat to take a quarterback.
All right, but yeah, I got just to give you a little bit of the quarterback carousel. Saints trade for Sam Darnold. Obviously, Drew Brees retired. Saints trade for Sam Darnold. As I said, Niners trade for Matt Ryan. The football team trades for Matt Stafford, and the Patriots trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. So none of those teams are going to be looking for a quarterback. Here are my destinations. With the first overall pick, the Jaguars are selecting Trevor Lawrence. If they don't, it's an L. If they don't, it's a W for us, obviously, because we could end up selecting him in the draft. But I think Trevor Lawrence is the perfect player to build your franchise around.
Our luck takes flight, that would happen, and we'd already have traded for Watson.
Yeah, I mean, but Trevor Lawrence is a guy that I think you build your team around. I think he's honestly the perfect guy to build your team around. He's going to attract some free agents to Jacksonville. That team is going to be pretty good in a couple of years. So, yeah, number one, Trevor Lawrence to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Number two, I said the Jets would trade for Deshawn Watson, so we give the number two pick up to the Houston Texans, who are going to select Zack Wilson, quarterback from BYU. He's my QB2 in the class. As I said, his IQ combined with his overall talent and accuracy is just something that I wouldn't put to rest. People said that there's some character issues with him, but his teammates immediately came to his defense and everybody around him. So I think that's a very good sign. He elevates his teammates, which is that Houston is going to need. And if you put Justin Fields in a bad situation, he's not going to have a successful career. So give me Zack Wilson, Texans. Even if the Jets stay at 2, we're taking. Want to say that too. So
Baker Mayfield character issue.
Calm the fuck down, and he's not even close to anywhere near Baker Mayfield. So next quarterback, I have Justin Fields.
Baker Mayfield's a bad quarterback.
He's not a bad quarterback.
He's not playing anything like a first overall pick. That's literally it.
He's a top 12 quarterback, but yeah. Justin Fields at number 4 to the Atlanta Falcons. I gave Anthony this idea in DMs.
No, you did not, bro. You didn't give me nothing. You gave me nothing, bro.
But yeah, Justin Fields in Atlanta, as I said in my last video, it's just a perfect fit because you have a guy like Justin Fields that he's not a one-read quarterback, but that one read is going to get open a lot of the time, so he takes that most of the time. When he's not open, he tends to panic, or he'll run and make a good situation. So he just can improve his consistency. He's going to be pretty good, especially in an offense like this. I think Atlanta's the perfect fit for Justin Fields this offseason. 4th quarterback in the draft, Trey Lance. I have him being selected at number 8 to the Carolina Panthers. You sit him behind Teddy Bridgewater for a year because Teddy Bridgewater has that massive contract, and he's a good stopgap quarterback. And Trey Lance is a guy that you want to be able to sit for a year and learn behind. A smart quarterback is exactly what Teddy Bridgewater is. I like it. They just came off the Cam Newton era, and I think Trey Lance plays a lot like a Cam Newton. So I just think it's a match made in heaven. Now, at number 20, I have the Chicago Bears selecting Mac Jones, the quarterback out of Alabama. I love this fit for them, especially because He's not a mobile guy, but he's a guy that can like check down and has the arm to throw over the top of the defense, which is exactly what Daryl Mooney is really good at.
We saw with Sam.
Obviously, Daryl
It
Mooney
doesn't
be wide
matter
receiver
whether or not
versus
you're a
wide
mobile
receiver.
guy because you can just lower the shoulder.
Yeah, and Mac Jones, although he has
Dude, Mac-
shown the
have you seen
ability to pick up a first down in a like 3rd and 5 situation by running the ball. If you put weapons around him, which I don't know if Chicago can do, but he can be a good
Picture
quarterback.
him.
He can end up being
Have you
like
seen it?
I think he'll end up being. I didn't interrupt you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did. Yeah, you did.
No, I'm saying what you did, and not you're
Yes, you
interrupting me.
did.
That's not how it
But you
goes.
still
That's not
interrupted me
how it
after I
goes. That's not how
said
it
that.
goes. Charlie Morrow, this is blasphemous, preposterous. But yeah, the Bears.
How do you do that? How do you do
How do
that?
you do that? Lamar Odom, who was on crack. But yeah, you got Chicago. They could be looking for a game manager overall, a guy that can just manage the game, not create many turnovers, so that their defense can just do what they want to do. Mac Jones come in. He manages the game. If he doesn't turn over the ball, the Bears could be a legitimate threat. And then my 6th quarterback in the class, Kyle Trask. I have him going in the 2nd round to the Detroit Lions. I like the fit here. I think it's Trask is a talented guy. He's not mobile at all, but he can throw the ball. And I think, if anything, I don't like him as a prospect. I think he's more of a backup quarterback, but he has the potential to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. I'm not going to lie to you. And I think Detroit could be the place for him if they can put weapons around him. That being said, I don't know if they can do that, but whoever goes to Detroit this year, any one of these 6 quarterbacks, really 5 because Trevor Lawrence isn't falling, but any one of Zack Wilson, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, Mac Jones, and Kyle Trask, if any of them go to Detroit, they're going to suck anyway. So, it is what it is. One of them has to go there, and it's Kyle Trask for me. So,
But every other Detroit quarterback hasn't had the ability to kick somebody in the teeth and tear a kneecap off. So you're really underestimating Dan Campbell.
And I think, Kyle Trask could be like a fiery guy because of how much of a gunslinger he is. And I like the fit with Dan Campbell, to be honest. So, Trevor Lawrence to the Jaguars, Zack Wilson to the Texans, Justin Fields to the Falcons, Trey Lance to the Panthers, Mac Jones to the Bears, and Kyle Trask to the Lions. I said Dan Campbell.
Dude, Dan Campbell is not a head coach we need in the NFL, but he is 100% a personality we need in the NFL.
I agree. I don't think he's a head coach, as you said, but, bro, he gets you fired up. And one more thing. Add in the script. I'm going to add in one more topic for us today.
What?
I want to know what you guys have thought of this NFL playoffs. Charlie, I'll start with you.
Look, I totally did not expect the Buccaneers to go this far, as stated in previous podcasts. But at the end of the day, you're not going to get rich betting on Brady. Betting against Brady, sorry.
The Buccaneers have no chance of beating the Saints.
The Buccaneers will never win another game.
I never said never win another game.
Yes, you did. You out of your mind?
I said never. Did I say never win another game ever? No, I did not say that. Never said those words.
No, for the rest of the year.
But
the Buccaneers won't. They're gonna change their name to the Brady's or the Patriots or some shit.
I thought the Packers were exactly what everybody thought they were. They were a finesse team that doesn't play well from behind. Everybody expected the Chiefs to go this far. I think the Bills really put together a good run to show you that they're the next emerging team. And I'm excited for the Super Bowl. You guys, we're all Jets fans. You might not agree with me here on this, but I think Brady's actually easy to root for right now.
Yeah. I love Brady, man. You grow to respect him over somebody.
With him,
and it's
not
kind of
anymore.
It's kind of like last year where we wanted to see kind of both teams in the Super Bowl win because they're both fun, exciting, easy to root for teams. So I'm not mad at the postseason results. Take flight.
Yeah, I'm honestly happy with the way this turned out, and I know this is gonna make me sound like a hater, but Brady's back in the Super Bowl, so I can root against Tom Brady. But nah, it feels weird too because I don't like Brady. He's my least favorite player in NFL history, but at the same time, he's my favorite player in NFL history. I love to root against him, but every time he proves me wrong, he's just like he's the perfect role model. He's the perfect like guy that you want to look up to. Exclude the cheating scandals. He knows how to win, and he's perfected his craft so well that he's into his mid 40s and he's still putting up numbers as if he were 27. So Tom Brady is he's one of my idols, and it's great to see him get this far. But go Chiefs, man! Let's go, Patrick Mahomes. Let's get this dub in the Super Bowl. As for the rest of the teams, Browns, you played well. Nobody expected you to get that far. I'm proud of y'all. Bills, same with y'all. I mean, at the beginning of the year, you told me the Bills were in the conference championship. I'd call you an idiot. Actually, no, I don't know if I would, but I don't know if I would believe you. They definitely look like an emerging team. The Colts, they're more on the downward slope now that Phillip Rivers is gone. I think they acquire Carson Wentz this offseason, but I'm really not sure. Some other teams in the postseason, some teams that underperformed, the Saints, but we all knew that was going to happen. The Packers, I was actually higher on the Packers than most. I still think Matt LaFleur is one of the most overrated coaches in NFL history. Matt LaFleur. He's one of the most overrated coaches in NFL history. He's just not all that good. Don't get me wrong, he's a top 12 coach, but people hyping him up as a top 7 coach in the league, which is just bullshit. I would easily take a guy like Robert Saleh or Brian Flores over him. And yeah, the Super Bowl is going to be really fun. I could see this one going into overtime. And honestly, I could see this being one of the best Super Bowls that we've ever gotten to see. And I'm proud that I've said I've got to witness it. So, Anthony, let's go to you.
This is literally what I wanted, and this is what I kind of expected. Listen, I'm going to give you guys an example. As good as the Packers are, you're on mute.
You did not predict Buccaneers Chiefs. Stop.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Actually, you did. Hold on.
Yeah, I did. You can go check out the other videos.
When? In the conference round? That doesn't count.
Fun fact, I predicted Chiefs Buccaneers at the beginning of the season.
So, yeah, as good as the Packers are, it's just that one game in the season, the NFC Championship, they just can't get past. That's Aaron Rodgers' nightmare his whole career. He's won one NFC Championship, and that was the year he ended up winning the Super Bowl. But other than that, then he hasn't been able to get it done. I expect the Chiefs back in the Super Bowl this year. I knew it. I really think they're gonna end up being the Super Bowl. What's up, Kat? I really think they're gonna end up being in the Super Bowl the next few years, just like with the way their team looks like. Obviously, you got Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and all those guys. They're all studs. So I really think they're just gonna continue going to the Super Bowl every year, in my opinion, until they start going down. But yeah. And then obviously the Bills, they were obviously way better than all of us thought they were gonna be.
Anthony has said the word obviously more than any other word in this podcast.
Yeah, so the Bills, they just proved everybody, the whole NFL, wrong this season by getting to the AFC Championship. I didn't even think they'd be this good. They made the addition of the Stephon Diggs in the offseason. I felt like they just made Josh Allen a top 5 quarterback in this league.
I was pissed when the Bills traded for Deshawn.
Before this season, I thought Sam Darnold was a more talented quarterback than Josh Allen was coming into the season, but that changed really quickly. So, and another team like the Ravens, I never really saw them as a Super Bowl threat. It's just, I understand they had a really decent year in the playoffs. I never saw them beating the Buffalo Bills or maybe even the Chiefs if they ended up beating the Bills in the divisional round. So I never really saw the Ravens as a Super Bowl threat ever in this postseason. So yeah, and another team that proved everybody, a lot of people wrong, were the Indianapolis Colts. Really decent, really solid year by the Colts. They almost won their division.
The Colts were what everybody expected them to be.
Not really.
Everybody thought they would be bounced in the wild card round.
I thought they would win.
They should have beat the Bills, in my opinion. But with the addition of Philip Rivers, I think he really made the team even better because obviously over there, Indianapolis is a better team, obviously, than the Chargers right now. So I felt like Philip Rivers would have played better there under Frank Reich. So yeah, so I think the Colts, I think they're going in the right direction. Now they're just in need of a quarterback this offseason. So yeah, and going over to the New Orleans Saints. I just did. That's another team I just never saw getting to the Super Bowl. So it's just Drew Brees, obviously.
Okay, bye. I can imagine Anthony is saying something pretty important right now, but
he's the last game that
Charlie,
he
you're
ever
on mute.
played again. Yeah, he's on mute. So,
I was just putting on my girdle on my knee pads. They fit.
Anthony,
So
are you
yeah, that's what I think about the Saints. And then going over to the Cleveland Browns. Obviously another team that proved a lot of people wrong. Kevin
Don't
Stefanski.
got all day, bro. Come on. Now I'm playing.
Kevin Stefanski deserves Coach of the Year for what he's done. Tremendous coach. I think this is going to end up being the best head coach the Browns ever had with the way his game plan is good. He's a really aggressive coach, so I really think he changed the Browns organization a lot. So I think the NFL is going to hand him Coach of the Year whenever that award's going to be out. So if I were the NFL, I would give the award to Kevin Stefanski with the way he's been able to coach the Browns this year. Them having one of the best seasons they've ever had in a really surprising year. And now going over to the Washington football team. This is a team I really like. They had the second-ranked defense in the NFL this past year behind the Los Angeles Rams. Obviously, I'm a big Ron Rivera fan, and everybody should be so happy he is officially cancer-free. Ron Rivera is a great man, and I'm really happy for him and his family that he is officially cancer-free. And he was really able to help out the Washington football team win the NFC East, the worst division probably in the history of sports. But still, I think that team was way better than everyone thought they were going to be.
Yeah.
He made that defense really elite. He made that an elite defense. I think he's a really aggressive coach. So I really think Ron Rivera was the right hire for this team. Obviously, on the defensive side, you got guys like Chase Young, who came out of Ohio State, beast over there. He was a beast at Ohio State, and he's continuing in the NFL now. And they've gone through about 3 quarterbacks this past year with Alex Smith, Kyle Allen, and Dwayne Haskins. So you went through 3 quarterbacks, which I don't really know who their quarterback's going to end up being next year, but I really think they're heading in the right direction. And I think if they get a quarterback, I think they're going to take that next step of maybe having a decent run into the NFL playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, Taylor Heineke's good, and I think he could be the answer at quarterback, but I'm sorry to cut you.
Four quarterbacks, actually.
That is all the time that we have.
Excuse me. So that is it for the Jets Up podcast.
Okay.
I hope you guys all enjoyed our episode. I know we have a lot of fun doing this, and I appreciate you guys' recent support. With that being said, Jet Up and peace out.
Hold on, Anthony. You got anything to say before we end the podcast?
Let's go Jets, baby. Get Deshawn Watson in New York, baby. Let's go.
Turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. We're going to have a podcast coming out. This podcast is probably going to come out tomorrow on Saturday, which I think is the 30th. Yes, it's the 30th. So be sure to stay tuned for that. All my Nets fans out there, we just got the dub. Let's fucking go. 13-8, baby. Yep. We coming for that number 1 seed in the East. But yeah, that's all the time we have for today. Love y'all, Jets Nation. Jets. Jets.
All right. We'll see you guys later.